The trouble of modern marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into it. Let the fuckery commence. Let's jump into it. So, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I see, and you know, for the videos that I've seen or whatever have you, it's like you know, in order for us to talk about modern marriages, let's talk about modern differences between modern men and modern women today. All right. Let's jump with modern men. You know what I'm saying? Certain modern men, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Some of these dudes act bitch like. Then there's others that if they act like men, then they get called out for it.
But okay. Before you continue, I need to know your definition of a man. Because that changes from person to person, from male to male.
You said start us up one more.
Let the fuckery begin. All right. Yeah, well, commence. But well, anyway, listen. Yeah, and this is where the fuckery begins. Listen, my definition of a man is a guy who can take care of his business. You know, a person who protects and provides. Like, you know, that's basically the main the main part that a man plays within a relationship, the protector and the provider.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But also, in order for that to successfully happen, you know, there has to be some type of alpha male trait, which now is labeled as toxic masculinity. So, you know, me myself personally, ever since I've heard toxic masculinity, I've embraced it and made it a part of my life. You know, but okay. You know, with exceptions, with rules. Okay. You know, exceptions, because you know.
Okay.
But I think
I want you to dive deeper though. What to you is an alpha male?
An asshole.
She's like, we want more. She don't want clear to the cut.
Oh, I'm sorry. An asshole takes care of his business. You know what I'm saying? Like an asshole who tries to find an asshole who's also some MGTOW shit who basically is trying to find a better version of himself, who's working on a better version of himself. I don't give a fuck about how y'all looking at me right now with all that bullshit.
This MGTOW shit is ridiculous, and I did my research, and it is connected to the black pill thing. So that's the MGTOW. That's it. I'm against.
You said the black pill or the red pill?
Yeah, no, the black pill, the black child. Men going their own way. That's what I thought it was, and it is. It's like this is a toxic mentality, and it's not. What's up?
What?
No, I was saying no, Eric. Eric. No, I get you. The thing is, what's going on with a lot of it? Yes, there's people in it. That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's also connected to red pill too. If you want to be like that, all of that's also connected. But what's going on is getting a bad rap for the select few that's in there doing things of that nature. Because black pill is incel stuff. MGTOW is not incel. MGTOW is connected.
There are people who within that who associate with it, and that's why I heard about it a long time ago. I was like, yo, this sounds very familiar. And when I started reading up on it, I'm like, yo, this is what I was reading up on. And you're correct. You're correct in saying that there are probably people in that within it, but we need to clarify that, make the clarification of what this is versus this is, because there are people who are so like anything. You have people in church, like we're talking about religion real quick. We're not going to go into it, but there's people within religions who believe multiple different things, and there's there's one main strain what we believe is like, oh, this is what it is, but there's outshoots of it. So I feel like without clarification of that, you're going down a road that's like, yo, this is what I'm about. Yeah. And it's a fucked up kind of mentality to like, that's, what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think there needs to be clarification on it.
Oh yeah, that's why I know we was gonna really get into a lot of this when that episode, commenced itself. That's why I didn't want to like address a lot of that here, because I get you. We can say that there's a lot of folks for each on ones and the parts. For me personally, of me taking that on and learning that and really going down these routes and learning all these different philosophies is to learn the strengths and learn really what's the ins and outs. Because the same thing we could say about feminism, same thing we say about any type of ism, is what happens is it gets to a point where it's too extreme. like you basically miss out on what the purpose is. With men going their own way is learning how to take their resources and learn how to build themselves up, that eventually, depending on the situations and not which thereof, you know, but the situation that will give them those choices to whether they want to, go ahead and even pursue a relationship, or honestly, me continuing to further my legacy this way is how I want to do it. That's if you're thinking logically again. But again, there's that whole
chicken and beef. It's called a blood pill. It's called a blood pill. That's how I live forever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what about the red pill though?
No, it's not the red. It's crimson red, and it's almost black. So it get confused between the red and the black, but it's like, yeah.
I love that.
Anyway.
Is that the
the
crimson pill?
The crimson pill. Yeah, that's what I'm about. I'm about that life.
Well, guys, hold on.
We got to flip
before we completely lose track. That's the men's side of it. Let's go to the women's side real briefly. Okay?
No, I don't want you. I don't want you to.
No, I don't give a fuck what you want me to. I'm going.
I'll go into the women's side.
All right, well, no. If you go to the women's side, you better be honest, because I'm gonna correct that ass. Okay?
No, I want you to go because I'm gonna light your ass up. I'm just saying.
Then my ass will get lighted up.
I'm a channel Shamara and light your ass up.
And then you know what? No, we'll get Shamara in here so she can light my ass up.
You don't want none of that, man.
No, I want that smoke. I want.
You don't want none of that.
Yeah, I want it, all of it. That's why.
And then when you get it, you be like, oh, you shot me too many times.
All right, well, I'll be a dead fat motherfucker then, won't I? Not anyway. So like I said, rapper. All right, like but like I was saying, in all seriousness, women, we know how it is with the modern day women today, you know. And Soul Clap, what's going on, baby? I see you. Yeah, we know what's going on with the modern women of today. Okay, the modern women. All right, well, let's put feminism in it. Let's put was it equality in it? I'm trying to find a nice way to say it without Steph lighting my ass up, but I have to tell the truth.
I don't think you can.
No, I can't. I gotta be honest, man. I'm sorry. For any modern day woman that happens to come on here, I apologize what I'm about to say, but I have to say it. Guys, no, Ad, I'm apologizing. Fuck that. Anyway, so I'm apologizing.
You don't really mean it, though.
I don't. I really don't. I'm bullshit.
That's why I'm shaking my head, Steph. That's why I'm like, no, just go. Why he eat on his Snickers bar, his Milky Way, whatever it is.
No, this is Twix.
Yeah, you all up in the mix, but go ahead.
Fuck it. This is good. Anyway, so when it comes to women, okay, modern day women, they want to run the show. They have fucked up attitudes. They want to run the show. They want to look for this imaginary six-figure nigga that either doesn't exist or doesn't exist within their realm. What?
8 figures, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry. He transformed into the 8-figure nigga. Sorry about that. They're looking for the 8-figure nigga because, you know, the numbers have to go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to be fully secure. And there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to look for security within their man. Of course not. But then you have to be realistic. And they suffer from the Disney movie syndrome, which I just found out a couple of days ago on the video. Shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. I gotta give credit where credit's due. They suffer from the Disney movie syndrome, which is they're looking for a Prince Charming in reality that does not exist. But if he does exist, he's in the top 1%. Now, what I personally believe is if you're in a relation, if you're trying to look for that type of relationship, you have to be that type of person. In a sense, you have to be in the role of what society says a woman's role is, to be supportive, to be a nurturer, to help that man look out for, for certain things, you know what I'm saying? To really have that man's back. And with the equality part of it, that shit ain't going down. You know what I'm saying? Like now, since a woman can make her own money, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like we have that make the stallion. Well, they have that make the stallion real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga type mentality that's basically putting relationships in the shitter because men ain't tolerating that. You know what I'm saying? And it bumps heads. Steph, I don't give a fuck. Like I'm saying it bumps heads.
Okay, my question is it really a woman's fault though? Because let's be honest here. There are a lot of men that have failed at doing their jobs and holding down their roles. Let's be honest. And these modern men suffer for all them other men that fucked up in the past. They shouldn't have to suffer. They shouldn't have to go through that shit. No, you're absolutely right. However, because of those men failing and those and women going through that constantly, they've gotten to the point where they've had to fend for themselves and do for themselves, and that attitude of I can be independent, I can do it, on my own, is what comes out of it. That's the situation.
Well, that's an excuse, to be honest with you.
It's not an excuse.
I agree and disagree with both of you.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you why I disagree and agree with both of you. Because yes, there has been illusion created by society or by about this Prince Charming maintaining a woman, but at the same time, that's our society. We fucked ourselves up because we created that. We looked at that and we kept going with it, and then we kind of corrupted it in the same way by saying, I want a man to take care of me, but I want him to hit on this level instead of maintaining me, living a good life. And at the same time, we have men who are like, I want a bad woman. She got to do all this and that. But they don't see that we live in a new era when we got to see if you want a partner or you want a woman, a trophy wife. You want a trophy wife, you don't want to come with trophies, right? You got to maintain a trophy. You got to keep it on the shelf. You got to clean it. You got to do all this shit. So this whole shit has been corrupted on both sides of the spectrum. We can't blame one.
I'm not blaming.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just saying them. We can't blame. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about circumstances from a certain woman's perspective. A woman.
No, I understand. I'm just saying overall.
And let down over and over again. I've seen it.
I know, Steph. I know you said it, Steph. That's
that women try to get over on men.
And the freaking court.
No, but
what's up?
This is what I'm also saying.
No.
Wait. Let me bring up the trophy wife situation that Eric just mentioned. The trophy. This is the thing that kills me when dudes are like, "Oh, I want a woman with a fat behind and titties like this, like standing at attention on a platter, like okay, that's fine, but do you come with that and it's the same guys that have the guts hanging out, that don't take care of themselves.
I agree.
That don't have the confidence.
I agree.
And the self-esteem and the wherewithal to work hard to achieve that kind of body. Well, like the males side of that like talk down to women and say all these disparaging things about women, saying, "Oh, you're fat, you're this, you're that." You're the fat slob talking about her. Like, I don't understand.
No, hold on.
Whoa, Steph. Come on, Nicky, take it easy on him.
You got no.
I'm being real.
Hold on. Steph has a point. You know what I'm saying? And me being a guy that's overweight, I see it too with them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I never really, as a big guy, I never really be like, all right, vampires don't get fat. Chicken and beef, funny.
That's true. That's 100% all blood diet, like V8. Go ahead.
Anywho,
they say they should go with a vampires. Safety, eternal life, and riches like the vampires on the bottom right.
That's why I got all that wisdom. That's why I got all that wisdom. Lifetimes of living and learning. Go ahead, man.
Listen, what I'm saying, all right, is you're right. When it comes down to it, I used to be that overweight dude that intentions of going to no damn gym. They had intentions. I met one with a turkey leg in her hand and they holding the kid, a little kid in another. I'm sitting there looking like she's a female version of the blonde. You know what I'm saying? Like she had no.
That's fucked up, man. That's kind of fucked up. Anyway.
No.
But yeah, we're talking about perception. We're talking about perception. The only thing idea is the perception. A lot of people have unrealistic ideals on both sides of the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you have it's completely a deal. They're delusional. Yeah. It's like the whole thing we were talking about coming to the table thing. I am the table. If you are the table, then you should need to come to the table because you it. And the same thing on the dudes where they're like, oh, I'm all this, I'm all that. Like, yo, you're bullshitting yourself. Be realistic. It's okay to have a good confidence and shit like that. But it's like you have to be realistic on the realistic level as well. Like what I bring to what I am is who I am, and be honest with yourself in order to get what you want. To get we're going back into happy marriage. To be happy marriage is to get you have to be realistic and honest with your partner as well.
Benny said, "Do you have intentions to go to the gym?" I know. Is she asking me that, or she's just saying like I think it's
just an open question.
Hey, yo, Carlos, what's going on? Carlos Rob 23, what's going on?
I think she's adding on to the argument that I put out there. Or
about the workout there, yeah.
Well, listen, it's like this.
I'm asking you.
Oh, shots fired.
You asking me?
No, you should take this off the stream. You want to argue with each other.
I love the bullets, man. Keep them coming. You know what I'm saying? I love the hate, the bullets. I love them. Keep coming. Anyway, so, like I was saying, me personally, I do have intentions of going to the gym once my schedule changes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is. But like, for the statement you said, nothing personal. You're right. I haven't said anything personal. What personal you want me to say? Like,
No, I don't think she's saying. She's not saying to be personal. The comment was just jumping on what you were saying. It wasn't like an attack or anything like that. I think that's what she's saying.
I be thinking sometimes everything's an attack, but anyway, cool. Listen, I'm planning on going to the gym sometime sooner or later anyway. But when it comes down to these guys, they need to have that type of mentality to go to the gym and switch up, their body. I'm doing it for personal reasons to make sure I'm healthy and I can keep going the older I get. It has nothing to do with trying to find a female on my end. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to all these other guys, Steph, you're 100% right. If you want to go for that type of woman, you know what I'm saying? You have to make sure your body's right, your mind is right. You
gotta level up in every way.
Right? Because it's like, and on top of that, you got to make sure your energy is right. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about to jump into that. When it comes to modern marriages, you got to make sure that the energy is right. If everything else is not right, at least have the energy so you guys could work on everything else together. I remember one time, no, seriously, like
no. Steph is reading the comments in YouTube. I know she.
Oh, all right. Listen, I remember one time this girl that I followed on the gram. Shout out to Brittany, like she just got married or whatever, so but I remember one time she was talking about looking for a mate. She was like, at first, she wasn't in the fat dudes, she was strictly in the skinny dudes or whatever, like fit athletic dudes. But as she said, as she was dating them, she started to realize that they were more asshole-ish. They were more like, you know, just not alpha male, but more narcissistic. Like, you know, I get, if that's the right word for it, like, oh, I get a chick I want. You just one of many. You know what I'm saying? Like, when a man has options, you know, you can get thrown away like yesterday's trash. Let's be realistic, you know. But then
it is possible. It does depend on the person's character as well. I'm sorry to cut you off. It does depend on the person's character. We can't all generalize, because just like there are people who are fit, who are narcissistic, there are people who are what society deems as overweight, and they can be narcissistic as well. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you out.
I'm not talking about me. This was her.
No, I understand. I told you. No, I'm sorry. I'm just go ahead.
No, that's cool. But then she said through time she learned that it doesn't matter what size you are as long as your energy is correct, man. She said it could be a overweight dude, but as long as you're willing to, you know, go to the gym and lose the weight, that, you know, she'll ride with that dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, that made me more attracted to her than anything else. You know, it like due to the distance, we didn't really do anything, but you know, we remained friends until she got married. I had to respect spaces. Anyway, but talking to her, she's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this episode in particular, because we were discussing about modern relationships and even modern marriages to a small part. It's like once you get married, once that ring is on the finger, these women do not marry they don't marry a guy because they love him, or maybe even for the finance. Well, they marry more so for the finances and or for the show itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've actually like heard women talk about marrying a motherfucker because they want the show. They want to one up their girlfriends because their girlfriends got married. So let me get this straight. You're dating a dude that you really don't like. You cheat on this motherfucker left, right, with several thousand platonic dicks on the side. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, but then, you know, this guy's a good dude with finances. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could take care of you for the rest of your life, but then you sitting around fucking with Chad Tyrone and whatever, you know, guy that has a foot long schlong ready to crack you wide open. You know what I'm saying? And then when the wedding comes, you like, you're just there for the show.
Who are these women that you're meeting?
I know, man. Right? There's some.
What lot of women are you meeting? Like this,
you going to the wrong club, the wrong churches. Going to wrong churches, wrong clubs, everything, man. I don't know where you're going.
I'm just listening to these stories. I'm like, what? Like, where are you finding this low hanging fruit? Like, they're not even low hanging fruit. They're
like on the ground, man.
They're the bruised fruit on the ground. Like,
the bruised fruit on the ground.
Like,
that was stupid.
Rotting. I don't know where you find these women. Like, I don't meet these type of women.
You know, it's interesting about lyrics. Lyrics, you're a really sensitive dude. You're a good dude at heart. I can see it. But you come out with some of these things you say, I'm like, dude, you know it's not true. You don't believe that. We're gonna get to that point at some point.
Ramos, if I didn't go through it, no, Ramos. If I didn't go through the shit that I went through, I wouldn't believe it either.
No, but I feel like on a hard place, like on a deep place, you don't believe like some of the stuff you say. I believe you think it's from experience, like we all do from experience. We kind of focus on our experience, and we kind of like have these things we feel like we hold resentful things we hold, but we don't believe them. Like, but anyway, this is besides what we're talking about. But I just wanted to state that.
I'm just saying those are not the women that I meet. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know. Steph got some prime cuts over there.
Yo, Ramos, Steph, listen. The reason why I meet these women, I either met these women either like in the street while I was doing my job, or
in the street.
Hold on. Or when
they belong to the street.
When I used to do security, when I used to do like bouncing in in clubs or whatever, I used to do nighttime security, and I would have these conversations just out of the blue. You know, when alcohol mixed with conversations equals the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like they, for some reason, they confide in you know, security motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So what do you want me to do? Like I remember was one chick, she was drunk out her fucking mind. Like she was getting married in a couple of days, and then she ended up talking to 2 dudes in the club, and went home with one of them.
But see, this
you
is what I'm
married
talking
in a couple
about.
of days.
You mean people at the club? Like what clubs are these?
These were like nightclubs, like New York City nightclubs. Like,
no, but where? Like where are these nightclubs?
Well, 2 of them are closed down. They were in Queens. They were on the Steinway Strip. You know what I'm saying? On by Story and Steinway. Yeah. Remember I told you you know who hooked me up with those? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Like that's all we gonna say. You know.
Oh man, Steinway. Yeah, I used to party over there too. Interesting area. Okay.
Yeah. So like on top of that, also like I said in the street, like in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad. It's fucked up what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. In the hood, you had a lot of men and women who they claim to believe in marriage and love, but as soon as the right female for the guys or the right female or man for the woman comes around, they willing to give it up and then have 10,000 fucking excuses why they cheated on the person they love or they supposed to marry or whatever have you. And I'm sitting there looking at this shit like, man, God, get the fuck out of my face, man. Like,
oh, by the way, like, my cousin is up in here. My cousin Dina. She's actually a first lady. Her husband is a pastor. What's up, cuz? What's going on?
Hey, cuz. I just want to let you know there's gonna be a lot of cussing in here. So
now, that is some high hanging fruit right there. Dina's that's a good woman right there. Been married for a long time too.
Dina, we would actually like to have Dina on here to discuss the modern marriages. I would like to actually hear what she has to say about modern marriages since she's married. So
yeah,
you know,
Dina, if you want to get on, just let me know and I'll excuse myself.
So what do you bring to the garden?
Listen, but anybody fruit. For anybody that's married or divorced or about to get married, want to come and join in the conversation, you can. You know what I'm saying? Because I would really love to hear from your perspective what y'all think about modern marriages. For those who joining us, this is Randumb Thoughtz, episode 2-8, Battle of the Sexes Part 6, The Troubles of Modern Marriages. Yeah, we're talking about the troubles of modern marriages because, like, I remember I was seeing one video, divorce rates are high as shit here in the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Continue to rise.
And they continue to rise.
I think the big problem we have with the marriage thing is that I think it's outdated, the whole structure of it. It's outdated. We need to restructure it in a modern take. I mean, it doesn't make any sense anymore. That's why people are getting divorced. They don't understand these things because they don't understand why they're getting divorced because they went into a system that wasn't made for them.
Yeah.
No, very true. And look, I'll say this. Go ahead. So I'll say this.
Sorry, just one quick question, Ramos. Do you think if they change it, then they change the old traditional rules of marriages? Do you think these motherfuckers nowadays are gonna follow them?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your mentality going into the marriage. You know what I mean? Because like the thing is like, all right, traditional marriage. What is traditional marriage? We're talking about way back. Why was it created? Marriage. It was for assets to further your line, right? Like it was for a lot of different things that actually lean towards the man. And I'm gonna say it lean towards like the man. We're gonna say that because essentially you had like a man with a family with a bunch of girls, and he had to marry them off. He couldn't support them. So what did he do? He pushed them on another man, and that man, because he wanted to further his line. And you know what I mean? So like now you have a system where the woman is basically just chattel, essentially. She's just being passed around for a specific reason, right? Now we're entering that modern age where women understand that you know what? On a basis, I don't really need a man. Like there's want and need, right? We're at a point of want and need. I don't need a man.
And that's the
problem. I understand. Yes, but it's not a problem within itself. It's a problem because both of us as male and females, or what have you, we're going to go beyond non-gender, whatever your gender expression we don't understand that it goes beyond that. We're on one level, we're thinking about it as the structure. We're not thinking about how we interact with it, like us ourselves interaction with it as individuals, and what we need, what we need from the marriage. You know what I mean? That's why it falls apart, because they go and see what I want from the marriage, what I want. Society tells me I want, but they don't see what I need. What is my internal need in a union? And I'm saying this from a man who's never been married, but at the same time, I see it. I see people getting married divorced around me, friends, and I'm like, I see why it fell apart, because like there's a lot of reasons. You know what I mean? But I know we're talking with this on a podcast, which we can't really do anything about it. But you know what I mean? Like we can't affect it, but at the same time, it's frustrating. I see it and it's frustrating. It's like, yo, these people don't even see what's going on around them. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, yo, Rainbows, you got a very powerful point right there, because, like I said, I know married couples. We know married couples. I wish Stan was on here, man. Like Substantial and Rochelle. Like, honestly, them and my man Carnage and Q, I wish they were up on here, because, yeah, they went through their rocky roads, whatever, but they, to me, they are the perfect examples of a good marriage, of what a good marriage is, even in this modern times. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, they go through shit. You also have to understand, once you put that ring on your finger, I'm gonna say this for my favorite movie that Steph doesn't like, Tyler Perry's "Why Did I Get Married?" I'm gonna keep reiterating this to the day I die.
Like it, even though the second one's kind of trash, but
yeah, the second one's trash. Like, why did I have to kill Gavin off, man? Like, spoiler. Anyway, when Terry was saying to Diane, he was like, when you put the ring on the finger, you exchange an eye for us. Everybody, thank you for coming in. I see Tanish, she's coming in, and somebody else came in too.
What's going on, Tanish?
Who is this? Al Legend 84. What's going on? Listen, guys, like I said, when you put that ring on the finger, you exchange an eye for us. What does that mean? That is a very powerful line, because what it means is what's yours is y'all's. Now, you know what I'm saying? What I've learned is from another married couple is that like my homeboy had a shit ton of bills. I'm talking about like college loans up the ass. I think up to like $20,000 to $50,000 in college loans and shit. And then he married a woman with great credit. This motherfucker refused to pay for his college loan. So once they tied the knot, guess what? His college loan became their college loan payment.
That's true. That's be careful. Be careful who you keep around you, because you're gonna be associated with that. So the same thing when you get married, all their debt is your debt.
Yep.
It is. You have to understand that.
Yep.
And even in child support. Oh God, child support. Let me tell y'all something about. And I know this shit. If you marry a dude that has child support, guess what? Stacks, what's going on, baby? Blacklight, we in the building. Once you marry somebody with child support, guess what? His or her child support payments, more so will become y'all child support payments.
I wasn't aware of that. That's crazy.
Now hold on. Thing is, child support don't tell you. Once you get married, they find out you married and all that. They don't tell you shit. One day you looking at your check and you see a deduction, like, and you like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, that's how they get. That's how they get the other person. Like, it just magically appears on their stuff, and you sitting there like, the fuck's going on? Like, and you wondering, and then you go back to your partner. Yo, look, they got the deduction on my check, talking some shit about. They took out blah blah blah. They bops in the third. You call child support and be like, oh, you got married, right? Yeah. Well, now this is what it is.
Right.
You know, at least in the state of New York. I don't know how they do it in any other states or whatever, but in the state of New York, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit is real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't understand dudes who have like 5 baby mamas and have to pay child support. How do they live?
In jail.
No, if you're outside, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's the only way, but like I know dudes are outside. Like, Tessa could attest to this, dude. You know who I'm talking about? He had like 6 baby mamas. I can't say his name, man. Like, can't shout out people, but you know, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. And you're like, yeah.
No, I'm shouting his name out. I don't give a fuck. Future. You talk about Future.
Anyway, he has
like nine children.
Who's this?
Future. He has 9 children. Something like that.
No, I'm talking about like people like who have no money. Like Future got dough. I'm talking about people who got no money. And they have like 7 baby mamas, and they're like, yo, how do you eat? Where do you live? Do you sleep in the airport? Because it's like, how can you afford this?
Yeah.
Ramos, hold on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Dealing with that shit myself, I've come across motherfuckers who had trouble dealing with one child. I remember I had a friend, a homeboy. We was in his car or whatever. We was in the Bronx, and he was dropping me off by the 2 train. So we was talking, and he was like, "Yeah, son, they deduct." Like he was like, "I got 2 kids, but I only pay for 1," and they literally deduct 80% of this nigga's fucking check. I think he was making like $1,000, and he left with like 200, 225 every week. Yeah.
He's living with his mama, I guess, because like there's no way.
No, he was living with his current girlfriend, who he's still with. He was living with his girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, and they had a daughter, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, his other kid.
That don't make any sense.
I don't know. He didn't tell me the whole details, but it's like for one kid in New York, this nigga's paying 75-80% of his check to like. You know what I'm saying? Like to his baby moms or whatever, because he said he had to go back to court for some shit with that. And I'm like the only thing I remember was I did shed like 2-3 tears because I felt this pain. You know what I'm saying? Me having to deal with that situation myself, but it wasn't that much of a dire situation than his. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely felt his pain. Like, yo, like, damn, bro, like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck.
Can I ask you a question?
Before Steph,
hold on a second.
Before
to answer
the I was gonna say so that you can get your answer to your question, Eric, is this dude is probably homeless somewhere. If not, then he never got served.
Gotta be. Chicken and beef? No, they're demon children, so I throw them to the streets. I don't take care of them. Go ahead, continue.
Oh shit.
You were saying some stuff. I'm sorry.
No, I just.
Yo, this nigga right here, man. Like, yo. Hey, yo, chicken and beef. You wildin', beef. Hold on, Tanish has a question right here. Look, she's saying something. Hey, fellas, dropping in to say I'm doing a presentation on the Harlem Renaissance at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time,
which is 5 p.m. Eastern.
If y'all are free. 5 p.m. I can check a little bit, but we're gonna be doing an open forum at 5:30. So
I might be able to drop by for a little bit, but yeah. I will do my best. I can't promise you, but I will do my best.
We can't promise you, like, cause
I won't necessarily be able to stay for too long, because I have a weird schedule and I have to go to sleep at 6 o'clock, which is crazy. But
you work tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yo, Steph, hit me up later. I gotta ask you something about Tuesday, all right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll hit you up.
All right, cool.
Yeah. But guys, what I'm gonna say about that, man, like, woo, it gets more deeper and it gets more crazy financial wise once you get married. So, and what I'm seeing a lot with a lot of these with these modern cats or whatever, these millennials, man, these 20-year-olds and even 30-year-olds, hell, even to the point 40-year-olds, that they jump into marriage not really knowing the full, the whole spectrum of the fucking marriage, like the whole rules and regulation or whatever. Because, and I'm gonna be very blunt about it, because this man's dick hard, her coochie wet, and they ready to fuck something. You know what I'm saying? They like, y'all was fucking before marriage. Like, what you gonna do? Like do some special shit? Or like once the ring is on the finger, like what the fuck are we doing here? Like I said, they either marry for the status of, well, now I'm married, now I can join the realm of my homegirls who are married. You know what I'm saying? Or for superficial reasons. Like I said, if they do find a guy that has a great job. Yeah, he might not look that good, but he has a great job or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole a whole bunch of money, whatever. They'll marry him for that, but then sit there and cheat on him with his brother or whatever Tom, Dick, and Harry on the side. And I'm like, and this is going on a lot, and a lot of men don't want to be sucking niggas. So now that's why MGTOW exists. That's why I kind of mentioned MGTOW. Because there's a lot of men going their own way. And
hold on. I know you're about to.
When is the episode coming up? When is the episode coming up?
It's coming up. We're going to get to it.
Advin sees my face.
I know. Look, that's why I'm
acting like acting like most men are innocent.
Yo, you know what it is? You're Al Bundy. You're Al Bundy lyrics, man. Like woman hater club, thing going on.
I'm not a woman hater.
Where's the stick? Where's the caveman stick?
My goodness. Look, hold on. The question. The question. Yeah, look, I'm gonna let you go clear that up. I'm gonna let you clear that up. We're gonna let Lyrics clear it up, especially at the open forum, so he can be open about what he's saying. But look, a question I have to add to all of this too is that I really want to know, because personally for me, I don't agree in marriage, especially nowadays right now, but I really want to know what are the benefits of being in a marriage? Like, what are the benefits for both parties besides building
honestly,
a legacy?
What you get back in taxes, and even now, like they've changed the tax code so much as of late, you don't get as much money as before, especially with Doofus 45. When he came on, he changed the tax code so much on every level. I'm talking about marriages, businesses, any place where you could possibly have a leg to stand on. He changed the tax code.
Kimberly, join us. I think she's married. I think Kimberly's married in a relationship. Some shit.
Okay,
join us.
If she wants to get on, then
yeah, I'll drop off. But okay. If you want to drop, I'll drop off. It doesn't matter, whatever you want.
Well, no, hold on. Yes, I want to see if she want to come on first. Like I don't want to have to drop off and then
So it's a business. Marriage is a business, but continue.
I agree with you. Marriage
has always been a business.
Always been a business. It's a business. It is a business. Okay. Definitely. People don't understand that.
Perfect. And then look, the other thing I want to say is then besides all of that, then what are their incentives of actually staying in said marriage?
What are the incentives?
Yeah, financial security or like emotional. I think the problem is that it's a marriage, but it's a weird marriage because you have the emotional connection thing going on too, where it's like emotional and financial, thing going on. You know what I mean? Like it's a complicated business, but because that's why the business breaks apart eventually through emotions. Like, people get resentful of each other and other shit. Because it was straight business, it wouldn't be about it would be like, what am I getting out of this monetarily? Oh, okay, my profits are up, I'm good. It's not like that with marriage.
And look, you know why it's another crazy thing? Because it's a saying. This is a saying, man, English, probably in other different places. And it makes so much sense now of why, honestly, modern day marriages and the system of that is failing tremendously. There's a such thing of a saying is you're not supposed to mix what? Business with personal, right?
Pleasure,
right? What is marriage? Marriage is a mixture of that. So that's a very crazy or thin line to be walking. So that's honestly is very hard to really consider how, again, profitable. I feel like marriage is like we say like 3 to 5 years. Like when it comes to businesses, within 3 to 5 years, 90% of businesses will fail. It almost seemed like that's just roughly about what happens with the marriages. You already see the divorce rate of how crazy it is. But again,
this is why you have so many different kinds of marriages popping up now. Or at least in the U.S. They've always been around. Yeah. However, in the U.S., it's becoming more of a thing to have like an open marriage or like a polyamorous relationship. I'm
down with Drupal.
And I don't.
Let's do this Drupal thing.
And I don't fuck with open marriages. I don't fuck with open relationships.
Okay,
I can't.
But this,
I can't.
It's a way.
I can't see.
This is a way to deal with the, I guess the emotional aspect of it, as opposed to the financial end, where you have your primary and you all have that that financial and I guess also emotional structure going on. But at the same time, you know, if there's a situation or a day where you're like, yeah, I want to see you right now. I want to deal with my secondary partner or my tertiary partner. Like, I need a break.
Look, got two things for you, Steph. Two things for you, Steph. And I appreciate you sharing that. First thing is, I actually want to go and reference a comment right now from Brown Girl Interrupting on YouTube. And the comment says, we put more into our businesses than we do our marriages, though. And that's very true, because again, people don't value relationships unless, you know, there's some type of monetary gain above it. Because you can go to the job and y'all respect your you may not like your supervisor, whoever you are there, but you're able to be cordial and nice and work with them. But when you come home and you're trying to work with your partner, it's a whole nother different story. I'm not saying, okay, that's every single person, but we're starting to see the breakdown of relationships as it is right in front of us now. And I know that's one of those lines there. The second one is, that's why, Steph, you talk about there's all these different types of, you know, relationships and marriages and things opening up, is because we know that this system, in a sense, it needs to be addressed. It is flawed in the ways that it's being used. Yep. So those, honestly, shouts out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. This brother, he had another concept of, okay, if we have the relationship where your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that is, and then you get into the situationship, there should be something in between that, which is like a marriage ship or some type of relationship thing where you take that time together, where y'all are still together, y'all in this contract, where again, it's almost like you're leading up to like every maybe 2 to 3, 5 years or whatever it is that you review it and see like, okay, are we still on the same standards of what we're doing and things of that course? And if we're going to move to the next, what that marriage and things will look like. So there's, again, I'm not saying it's, again, another best system, but you see that there's people out here having to come up with other ways to look at this. That's why some people decide, you know what, I'm not going to get married to the state. I'm just going long term. We just partners, or we're just in a relationship long term, and we have family and stuff, and we act like if we're so married, but it's not that we're legally married.
Right. Hey, yo, Rom Tattoos, what's going on, baby?
You said someone's coming in?
Yeah, Kimberly wants to join us.
All right, hey, drop out.
What's up, Rock Tattoos? I see you in here. EBT in the building, man.
EBT, what up, baby?
So you spending that well? You spending your EBT well, my G? I'm just playing.
But I think also, you know, in order to be in those type of relationships too, you have to be mature enough and you have to be self-aware to the point where you're secure in your position in that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it as an offense, Steph, all the time. What's up, Kim? Literally,
Kimberly, what's going on?
You have to really be mindful of who you're going to be again in a relationship with. Y'all have to be on the same page again. Like if y'all aren't and it's not working, then of course you're gonna see all these situations, the issues happen. People get mad because somebody dropped the ball here, somebody did that here. Like, yeah, we gotta do the self work before then we can end up, you know, making the right choices when it comes to that person that you want to be with. Because ultimately, yeah, go ahead.
My fault. Kimberly, what's going on?
Hey guys, I'm good, man. I'm really tired. Good, man. I had to hop in here before I call it night.
Yeah, it's not. What time is it over there?
It's 10 to 11.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. 10:50. Damn. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get your opinions real quick here, man. What do you think about modern marriages going on today? I know that you guys like it's probably different in South Africa than it is in the States. I'm assuming, but how? Like, what's your opinion? Like, how? First of all, like, how is it in South Africa, and what's your take on it?
Besides the what was it called?
Oh yeah,
Ujolo.
Ujolo.
That's what it is. Ujolo.
Ujolo.
Not Jello. Come on, Larry.
No, I'm hungry.
I grew up with the saying that when America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. Like, all right. I grew up with that saying, like, when America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. And not just in the sense of the music and media and how we dress and how we look and how we speak, but also in our relationships. And that's built over a lot because marriages now are, as per everything that I was listening to, there are those type of marriages out here as well. And they're not lasting longer than 3 years, 4 years, or 5. And I remember when I got into my marriage, one of my family members said to me, don't ever say you're married until you've reached or gone over the 5-year mark. Because within the 5 years, that's when you actually see or realize if that is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and if you're going to face a lot of challenges during those 5 years that you've never faced in any girlfriend-boyfriend relationship ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So for me, there is, like, as Ed mentioned as well, like, people are looking for this gain, some beneficial gain out of relationships. The only beneficial gain I wanted to ever get out of any relationship, whether it was girlfriend, boyfriend, or even in my marriage, was if you're gonna change for the better. Because if you're not changing for the better and I'm not changing for the better emotionally and mentally, physically, that's another story.
Yeah.
But emotionally and mentally, you have to grow. And if you and I are not growing mentally and emotionally together, then we are doing something wrong. So that's my mindset in my relationship and in my marriage. And 8 years I've survived. So I'm wearing this badge, like, to say, okay, 8 years we survived this thing, and there's gonna be so many moments. And I feel like society has made it so easy now that when people get to a phase in their marriage or even in a relationship where they just look at a person and find them unattractive, or because there's so many attractive looking people out there in this world, and then they just come to this conclusion like, oh, I don't even love this person anymore. And then they don't go back to trying to find a reason as to, or finding that thing that made them fall in love with that person and their character to start off with. Because I know we've spoken, like, we have such a good open relationship where I was like, there were some times where I hated you. I couldn't stand looking at you. Like we have that openness now, where and he'd even come up to me and we'll speak and he'd be like, do you have regrets? Do you have any regrets of us, getting married and taking that step? I'm like, nah. And I'm like, do you? He's like, nah. Like, we have those conversations. And it's important to get to that point of communication and having those conversations. And you stop having those conversations and those deep, intimate talks with your partner when you start finding people outside to start speaking to and confiding in. And that's
Thank you.
You know what? You want to know why?
I've been saying that shit for a long time. Nah, fuck that. Hey, yo, sorry, Ed.
You have not been saying
no, why?
that.
No, hey, nah, but
you literally
get
have
in
not
the
been
back,
saying that
bro.
at all.
Get in the back.
No, I don't want to get in the back.
Get in the back, bro. You be
Bro.
telling me to be getting in the back, get in the car. You get in the back this time.
All right,
Hold on.
I'm getting
Okay.
back in the.
I'm
driving
hold
with
on
Kim.
for a quick
I'm
second.
not
You gonna
driving
hold
with
on?
Kim. Get out of here.
Nah, I was gonna say is that's why checking your emotions and things is very important, because our emotions they change on a whim. And if you're focused on just only the emotional part side of that, literally you can create an emotional connection with the most randomest of people. You never know when. The reason why I say that, for example, is when I was living in Seattle for a year, I don't know how many times I've had really genuine connections with just random strangers while I was either on a bus, where I was walking, or I was literally playing a game of chess with somebody. And we connected to a point where it's like, dang, I didn't feel like, wow, I feel like I'm having a deeper connection than I did with like my aunties and my uncles. And I just met you. And it's like, it's very crazy. So you have to, not crazy, it's just, very opening to see like, yo, how like the emotional connection and how emotions, you have to be very mindful, because if not, then that's where you can start to get sidetracked of, okay, then the person I'm with now you're going to start doing the comparisons. And then after that, you get your whole self in a whole rut, and then you're lost. And it's like, dang, then what do I do now? It's like, dang, I'm not feeling it with this person anymore. And if you're so quick to make decisions with your emotions, not look back on the logic, like you said, what really drove me to this person? What did we really go through? And you're going to be ready to throw away a 5, 6, 7 year relationship. And this is both men and women. And go straight to that person because that one day, that 2 days that y'all been together, it's just much higher than it was the past 6 to 7 years you was with this person.
But if we have to go to percentages, first of all, I want to say, Popsy B, you funny. She said her voice is beautiful, can listen all day. Stop trying to hit on our guest. That's what I want to say. I'll fuck with you. But I'm a fucking idiot. What do you expect? Like, yo, listen. What the fuck I'm looking for? Oh yeah. Yo, Kimberly, you made some very interesting points because like I think people can learn a thing or two from what you're saying and from the example of your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like I think communication, just talking to your partner, that's what's a loss. Like I said, in the United States here, they marry for the title. You know, they marry just because their friends are married. Oh yeah, I gotta get a one up on her. I gotta be a part of the wives club. You know, or like I said, superficial reasons, like for money. And I'm not saying all women, but a good percentage. It's a big percentage, especially now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I had to really break it down, and it's sad. It's to a point where you look and you like, do I even want to get in a relationship? Forget a marriage. Do I really want to just get into a monogamous relationship with this woman, or even getting into the option of open relationship? I'm against open relationships. Been in there, didn't work for me. But seeing how things are going, Steph, it didn't work for me. Stop looking at me like that. It didn't work for me anyway. So
open relationships, I feel, work when you're younger. Like when you're in your phase of where you don't really want something solid. Because I think we've all been in that phase where we've had open relationships. I know when I was scared to get into solid relationships, I'd be like, listen, I'm not out to catch feelings. All I want is to ensure that this is what happens between you and I. If you see me walking with somebody else tomorrow, please don't ask me any questions, because if I see you walking with some other chick, I'm not going to ask you anything about that. And I did that to mask the fact that I didn't want to get my heart broken. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to act tough. So if he does something, I'm just going to be like, it's cool. You know, it's good. It's fine.
Well, but then I don't know if that's the mindset of everyone. I know for me, like when I've dated, multiple people, it's been to kind of, it's almost been like an interview process. Like I'm trying to figure out, okay, whose energy matches mine, the most. Who's the person that I'm gonna grow with, at the end of the day. That's been for me. It's never really been, I'm afraid to, to fall in love, because I'm always open to falling in love. Make me fall in love. But I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for someone to make me fall in love. Like match
you and me both. You and me both. Like I'm with it. But like I said, man, like the way how the modern day is working right now in the United States, man, is just it's so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has, and I'm not just gonna say women. I'm gonna say both men and women in this modern era in the United States have this Walt Disney like movie syndrome, like this, like, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, yo, you go through all this shit to get the person and y'all live happily ever after. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like like, let me tell you something about happily ever after. That shit only works in movies, because after happily ever after, you got unhappily headaches, you got unhappily bullshit, you got more unhappily bills. Like, yo, you just got more unhappy shit that Walt Disney and them niggas don't know shit about. You know what I'm saying? That happens in real life. As well as all of the commercials and the commodifying of marriage and relationships and all. That every kiss begins with K and all this other B.S. too.
Yes, can I answer this question? Your boy is hilarious. Someone just made a comment about putting about the ring. Like we devalued the ring. First of all, the ring and proposing has only been around since 1935. I'm schooling y'all the facts. The ring has only been around since 1935. We didn't start proposing to people until, like you said, K Jewelers and all these other jewelry companies started putting their heads together and saying, how can we get people to buy more diamonds? That's what proposing is about. We've lost that. We've forgotten that advertising, changed that dynamic completely.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that before 1935.
You know what? Let's blame K Jewelers and them niggas too, man. Let's blame.
I agree.
All of them, man. Let's blame.
And it's not even the ring. It's not even the ring itself that symbolizes the fact that you're in a union with someone. It's your actions. It's the way you treat that person. It's the way you communicate with that person, respect that person, and speak to that person equally as to they with you. And it's funny and it's crazy, and also respecting the fact that there's going to be tough times. Are you ready to deal with those tough times when that person's out of work? Are you ready to deal with those tough times when that person decides that they want to start a business? Are you going to support that? Are you going to support the fact that they're going to work till 2, 3, 4 in the morning? Are you going to make sure that they still come home to a plate of food and a peaceful environment, and that support to say, okay, keep going, keep pushing, keep carrying on. You're doing an amazing job. Are they still coming back to that equally, them with you and your hustle and the things that you do as well? But people don't understand. Yep.
And I could say of my experience, like especially like when I was going hard in the studio, man, oh man, I think I might have found one woman that understood, but every other woman that I ever had, they for some reason in their mind, they was like, oh, there must have been bitches in the studio. For some reason, there's some bitches in the studio. Like I'm like, yo, you must really think I am I'm just really bagging bitches to go to the studio, or they just happen to be set right there. No, like there is no, like I had to really convince chicks that there's no chicks in the studio, and it's like, what the fuck? Like even when I try to start when I try to start security business, oh man, like I could tell you stories, nightmare stories about that shit. It's all about, at the end of the day, it seemed like it's all about them. That's also a problem. Not with all women, but with some the most. Like I said, I don't know how they do that in there, but in the U.S., that's what it is. I'm sorry.
Now here it's similar. Yeah, here it's similar. It's about myself and I, and what you can do for me, and how you are taking me for my home, and you're gonna look after me, and you're gonna support me. But then I said this to someone as well. It's like, okay, so I might get into trouble for saying it, but when you meet someone and they come into a relationship with their hair done and their makeup done and they're looking fresh and clean, like they just came out of a commercial, whatever the case is, and then suddenly you are expected to maintain how that person looks. But when you came into that relationship, who was maintaining how you looked before that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if we as females are going to expect certain things from men, we should be able to provide that for ourselves first. If you're the type of woman that always wants to make sure that your hair is a certain way and you always have the latest clothing that's coming out, or cell phones or technology, ensure that you can be able to buy that yourself before ensuring that he can do that before you. Because now you're coming into this thing with these unrealistic expectations. Expectations from where?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And look, on top of that, what has happened, and there's a few things, because you said a lot of things and I've kept them in my head. First thing, especially with what you said right now, is what we've done is we've looked back in all the past generations. We've seen what marriage looks like, what relationships and things look like now, and how it's fast forward to society now. We've taken on what we've learned from the past about what traditional is. So what we've done is we've basically set it to a shallow point. It's like, okay, if you can't do that, I remember when my parents such did this, so you can't provide and do this. Well, okay, I'll go do that on my own. Same thing when the dudes on the side is like, well, see, now you don't cook it clean, you can't do any of that. All right, shoot then. I ain't gonna want any of that too. You can't have that happening. So what we do is then we just basically now have just set it to, okay, if you're not doing this, not doing that. That's just how it goes. But to a very shallow point where there's no conversation. We're just throwing it out there because we got the TikToks, we got the Instagram, we got all social media, have this, talk back and forth, which too comes to a point where both sexes, or again, multiple, you can do all of that here and there. But basically, we start to lose the humanity in both sides. We start calling, men are trash, when men are dogs, women are this, women are that, all around on the spectrum. People are all these different things, and we start to lose out on the human aspect of like we're people, we're humans, we're not all these other different things. Like, don't forget to talk to me. We have this conversation. We can do that. I'm not just some piece of trash. I'm not just some this piece of this. I'm a person. We can talk. We can speak. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. And then the third thing that I saw in there, the brother said, is all about love. Love is a result from all of that. Honestly, right. Love is not. It's not all about that. That's a result from that hard work and the stuff that you put into relationships. I feel it, but I just don't, because if we base a relationship just off of love, I'm gonna tell you that thing is gonna come down real quicker than the Twin Towers. I'm telling you that now.
And you know what? We could thank. You know, we have to thank for that. Walt Disney. Thank you, Walt Disney, for giving us that.
The whole world can thank Walt Disney.
Well,
the whole world.
Yeah,
it's a small world after all.
He can't. First of all, he didn't make up all those stories.
Steph, I have to blame somebody.
No,
I have to blame somebody. I can't blame you.
Accountability.
All he did was manufacture it and mass produce it. That's all he did.
And guess what? And when you manufactured it and mass produce it, you got all these.
This is what I'm saying. He's not the only culprit in that, because these are timeless stories. These stories came from like the medieval period and prior to that. You have the Grimm brothers. Let me freely blame Walt Disney. All these folks that wrote these stories.
I know Walt Disney though.
I know other culprits. You can blame Walt Disney. I'm just saying there are other culprits in the mix.
You know what? Let somebody else blame them. I'm blaming Walt Disney. Walt Disney done fucked everybody's head up to believe that there's this magical place of love where if this happens, that the third, they gonna get married, they gonna live happily ever after, you gonna fuck till his dick fall off, and then that's it. No.
I want to know too. Where did not only the idea, but the traits of tall, dark, and handsome come from?
Walt Disney.
No. No,
I gotta blame somebody. Like I told
but
you,
it wasn't him.
Hey, man, blame the chopped cheese person down at your local corner store.
No, don't you ever talk bad about my chopped cheese. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, yo, chopped cheese is the greatest.
Oh man,
chopped cheese. Fuck out of here, man. Don't talk about chopped cheese. Chopped cheese. Like, yo, son, when you come to New York, I gotta take you to the spot on 125th, chopped cheese. That shit, oh my god, it's amazing.
You gonna take me or what? Because my birthday's on Thursday, y'all, by the way.
Bring your ass.
I'm about to be sporty 40. I know. Look.
I thought you was like 20 something. I thought you was gonna be 40.
Wait, why is your sound off, Steph? Steph, come back.
Yeah, it's word to A thing, right?
Right. Look,
no, we did not hear you. We hear shit.
Steph coming back. I got a hot take.
Don't come back.
I got a hot take for y'all.
But now,
bro, what?
No, I wanted to blame Walt Disney on some more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like why Steph is not here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm not ready to eat. But I got a hot take.
Go ahead.
You know how we talk about, we notice with marriages, it's always about either the finances, the sex, or something just don't add up. And you know how we everybody talk about trying to get, multiple streams of income, right? And have just multitude of different places to get money coming from, right? My hot take is marriage is actually one of those or divorcing from a marriage is another stream of income. is one of those multiple streams of income. It's
Wait,
majority.
What's a multiple stream of income? What you say again?
So there's you have, of course, you have royalties. You have, of course, your physical labor of that what you do. You also have basically the commodifying of like your businesses and services. So if you do like tutorials, but then you put them into a online course and people buy that course, that's another stream of income. Multiple people gonna buy from that. If you publish books, PDFs, any of that sort, that's another stream of income you can have. If you're investing in stocks, that's also, you know, write-offs for businesses, as well as you get dividends and returns for that. So that's also another stream of income. So my thing of what I was saying, there's multiple of them. There's like 7 to 8, many of those. I say now that divorcing somebody, the incentive actually for divorcing, especially if you are the one that makes less. Majority of the time, the person that's in a marriage that makes less, and you see it majority of the time, is the woman. There are instances where men also make less, and they can come up on that. But the person who makes less, they have the incentive to divorce, especially if you do have money or if you have something. So basically now, I could get checks from you monthly, yearly, and especially if we have a kid, I can do that for about 18 to almost 21 years. And now that's my extra stream of income coming from you.
But I already know about the kid situation, like, you know what I mean? Like, I only got one, but like when I see my BM was making off that, so I was like, yo, like, you know how many times, you know how many nights I cried through the years, man, that, you know, I could have got some of that shit, but, you know, like, we didn't get married, and I was like, fuck, B, like, yeah, I could have been 1,000 there right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, better minds interrupting podcasts. Yes, because literally, if people go back to, besides what Eric was saying earlier on here too, is that's how marriage was set up. Was literally that the woman was to be at home and the man was to provide. And again, those marriages would last almost to about 20 plus, if not years. And that was actually the fallback to say that if there was a divorce or if the woman did leave the man, that literally that payment that the man would be given to the woman would be appropriate because of the fact that for the whole 20, 30 years, you took in care of the kids, the house, and everything else, and you didn't take any time to go and, you know, learn things for yourself and have any type of skill that you can actually survive and provide for yourself.
Well, I'll say this, right? And I'm going to be serious with this. I think the main thing that's also missing in modern marriages, Steph, leave me alone. I'm still gonna blame Walt Disney on more shit later.
That was for Ed. I wanted to talk about the marriage as an arrangement because it's just a different kind of mentality to be in.
Well, right before that, I just want to say, like, when it comes to these modern marriages, I think the reason why they mostly fail is because nobody gets any type of counseling. You need to either talk to a pastor, you know, minister, or you need to find a marriage counselor. Individually, you need to find a counselor individually for yourselves and a marriage counselor, because there's a lot of things that have to be discussed before you go through the show. You put the ring on the finger and all this other stuff. You spend, like, I would say maybe $30,000 to $400,000 on weddings and shit. Like, you know, the NBA, the ex-NBA player Steven Jackson, he made a video when he left his wife at his fiance at the altar because she didn't want to sign a prenup. And prenuptial agreements, we did an episode on prenuptial agreements. That's another motherfucking situation with that. Like, if you are a person of high value, if you got a shit ton of money and you want to protect that money, then you got to go through prenuptial agreements. But then the prenups don't really save your ass at the end.
Well, it depends on what state you're in. People keep getting married in California. I don't understand why.
Yeah, exactly. I don't either. Especially if you have a pastor.
Take the niggas out. Take them niggas out, man. Make them get married in Arizona or something.
Bro, I ain't got no press. I have no type of power or anything over here, man. I stay out of the LA scene, bro. Man, all of that looks super fake to me, bro. But look at when you're talking about getting the pastors and stuff too, make sure y'all don't get a Creflo Dollar, okay? Because then Creflo Dollar gonna make you give money to him, and he gonna run the wedding and get you all these different other places, and you're gonna be spending $500,000 on your wedding because he's gonna turn it into a business. He's gonna turn your marriage
marriage into a business.
This nigga
What's
said
exactly.
$dollar.
Because you said pastor. That's the first thing that popped into my head was Creflo Dollar.
And then he's gonna put it towards his private jet that he's still trying to get. But
yo, I'm fucking done with. I'm done, like,
go ahead, Kim.
Right,
I'm done with the both, man.
With my parents personally, my parents were terrible together. They were not meant to get married. The only good thing that came out of their marriage, I think, was probably having me.
Oh, wow.
Other than that,
You're fucking awesome.
Thank you. They don't gel. You know, they just don't gel together. They don't work together.
Water and oil.
And my parents have been divorced about 4-5 times from each other.
Damn.
Each other.
I've never heard so many
I never heard of that
divorces
shit before.
in one marriage in all my life.
Yeah, you and me
That's
both.
crazy.
Like, I never heard no shit like that. Like,
4 to 5 divorces.
And they had to get
Exactly.
4 more times.
Exactly. And I was the one. I'm the youngest. I got an older brother. And we have different dads. And we sat with them. And my brother's married for 10 plus years now. And we sat with them, and my brother looks at both of them. He says, "What the hell do both of you actually want? Because you guys can't get along for anything. You always arguing, you're always fighting, and then it escalates and escalates and escalates. So what is it? You need to go for counseling." And they're like, "No, we don't need counseling." You're like, "Okay, then get us out of it. We want nothing to do with it." And that's so important as to, like, and we've spoke about this so many times on ads lives, is ensure that you go and self-evaluate yourself, check yourself, make sure you are right mentally and emotionally to handle somebody else. Imagine giving somebody else your kids headaches. I wouldn't want my daughters go into any relationship with any men with that mindset of of past or undealt with problems. They gotta make sure their mind's right. They gotta make sure their pockets are right. They gotta make sure if they go into the relationship, they'll be able to, or willing to sign a prenup. But
right,
they show that level of, hey, I'm with you because I genuinely just want to be with you. And even talking about that prenup, like, we brought that up. If you want to see if somebody genuinely is with you or wants to be with you because they just want to be with you, and not just love, but also the other things that come with the I love yous.
Right.
You got to ask that one question. Would you be willing to sign a prenup? That's when you'll see a person's true character or true colors. If they're going to stick around.
That's the same question. That's the same question of what you bring to the table. It's the same question, the same effect, and the same feel.
Up here to the United States and see some of this shit here. You want to sit there?
I can't.
No,
I can't. I'll be sent back real quick. I'll be sent back real quick. I'm not ready to get arrested in the U.S. I can't do it in Africa. I'll be good. I can survive. I can't do this there. I can't.
No, I'm just saying, like, visit for like 2-3 days and see that shit. Like, let me tell you something. If it, like, and that's another thing. At least when it comes to African American relationships and stuff, if a man does have like resources and stuff of that nature that he wants to protect, and he's like, "Hey, babe, you ain't sign a prenup," there are some women that will say, "Okay," they'll look it over with the lawyers or whatever have you, but then they'll procrastinate. You know what I'm saying? In the signing that shit until you have to force her hand. How do you force her hand? You got to call off the wedding. Like I said, like Stephen Jackson's story, we was saying that he had to call off the damn wedding. You know what I'm saying? And step away in order for this woman to sit there and cry and be like, "Well, okay, I'll sign it." But then he also learned another thing. Yo, let me put y'all into some game in case y'all didn't see that. He learned that you do not have anybody sign a prenup while they're under distress.
Yep.
While they crying, while they boo-hooing, doing all that shit, because then they can get that shit thrown out in court.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta really tread. You gotta, when it comes to signing prenups, you really gotta do your homework. Sit down and talk to get counseling from an attorney, a divorce attorney.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
One person I will shout out, and onto your point, Lyrics, is if you want to know a lot about stuff like that, go check out on YouTube. There's a brother named the lead attorney, and he
Yeah,
speaks
I know
about a
him,
lot
the
of
lead
this stuff
attorney.
too. And he gives so much insight because he's a divorce lawyer, as well as just, I mean, in general, a lawyer, different things. And he's talking about, especially when he's talking about the prenup. And I brought him up before when we did the live, and he talked about that in particular, how prenups can get drawn out if you don't do through the proper channels.
Mm-hmm.
So shout outs to the lead attorney.
Shout out to the lead attorney, man. Check him out. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying like this, man. Like when it comes down to marriage here in the United States, my personal opinion, I think it's more so for what you have than who you genuinely love, and for status. You know, my personal opinion. You know, I know Steph disagrees to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Because I see your facial expressions. That's
No,
why
no.
No,
I'm listening.
I'm gonna address a question too on YouTube.
You waiting to fire shots. That's what you waiting for, man.
Earlier, yes, I was.
You waiting to judge
fire shots. Yes,
you was waiting to be judgmental, and you know that's what I love about you, Steph. You be bad judgmental and shit. Like
Here you go.
Oh, man. No, but
shouts out to Redemption Songs. I'm 76 on YouTube. And they're having a great convo in here on YouTube about it. And I just wanted to pop in and just correct the statement that I put on there about what we was talking about earlier, and just clear that up. I wasn't speaking to the whole thing. They have a story in here about a relationship of being a devout Catholic. My point wasn't to actually that story. My point to the whole thing about accountability and people being there needs to be some type of shame and frowned upon when it comes to divorces. It's because, again, I'm saying, then there's no reason for them. Why would you take your vows and be in a marriage in the first place? Because then we're not keeping people accountable to these relationships if it's just only for this one incentive or not. I get it can turn toxic or, all those are different situations. But if it's a situation that's going well, but then you, again, connect with somebody emotionally outside, and now you're feeling more emotionally connected to them, then, where is the accountability from not maybe even, that's not only a community, but also within the family, be like, no, y'all have already done this. Y'all done it. You stick together. That's what he said, the counseling, and everything else comes into that part. So my comment to the accountability and shaming people on that aspect to keep them accountable in a relationship, it had nothing to do with that situation of the devout Catholic. Because for me, I'll say this too, and we miss out on it a lot. And I know we got to wrap up soon too. As much as we want to look out for self within our relationships and things of that sort, yes, you can go back and you use the Tyler Perry analogy and that sort. But for me, when I know if I were ever to be in a relationship, if that's why I haven't even jumped into one, is because I've learned not only from my mom, but my family around me, is for me, man, forget me. Honestly, forget my partner. I'm all in it for the kids. So I don't want to set it up to a point where I don't want that cycle to continue for the kids. So if I know this is not a setup that is perfect to be, or not say perfect, but it's not going to be conducive to helping to build the next generation and help them have a strong head on their shoulders, I don't even want to step into that. That's just me personally. I think beyond that. It's like I think about the kids and the generations after that. So I personally, it's like, cool, we can vibe and do stuff. That's why, I mean, as much as I would love to have kids and stuff right now, but I already tell Lyrics that he knows a lot of the options out here, at least for me in LA and where I'm at right now, is ridiculous. I just do my own thing because I know for me that's what I want to build and that's where I want to take it. And again, go ahead, Steph.
I know. I was just gonna say a quote that Ice-T said one time, where I think his wife said something like, "Oh, don't worry, there are plenty of fish in the sea." I forgot who they were referring to, but she was like, "Yeah, there are plenty of fish in the sea." And he was like, "Yeah, there are plenty of fish in the sea, but what if the sea is polluted?"
Ooh.
And that's basically what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a polluted ocean.
We are dealing with a polluted motherfucking ocean, like a motherfucker, boy, like shit, piss, like toxins, all types of shit, like
that's why we got deformities. That's why we got all these isms from all of this pollution. Is literally just circulating and just dissing us more to a point where yes, these philosophies that people see, even though some people can take them and logically use them, will already start to be like, well, now you hate women. Now you hate men. Now you do this. Now your relationship is that. And for the record, go ahead.
For the record, I do not hate women. Okay, the reason why I say what I say about women is, well, at least African American women here, you know what I'm saying, is, you know, the hold them accountable. Nobody holds them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like
we can't.
But why do you have to hold the entire lot accountable? Like,
no, I'm not the entire.
All men accountable, because I know there's still good men out here, good black
men out here. You're not listening. You know,
no, I am listening. I'm holding to you every week.
I'm holding. Well, all right.
Steph, let him drive. Let him drive.
No.
We're swerving right now. We're swerving. Okay.
What I meant, yeah, fuck y'all. All right, like, you know, what I meant to say, what I genuinely meant to say is, those women that, you know what I'm saying, that believe that they don't need anybody. You know what I'm saying? I always say, and I always post up on Facebook, especially, everybody needs somebody. We are like, I feel human beings. We are designed. We need somebody. We are compatible with someone. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal belief. We are compatible with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're straight, whether you're part of LGBTQ community, whatever. Everybody needs and deserves somebody. Stop saying you don't need a man. I'm holding those accountable for those who say, "Oh, I don't need a man.
I don't need a man."
And guess who? Of course not. You need a woman.
No, I don't need a man.
Quiet. Now, anyway, you need a woman.
I'm gonna say it.
You need a woman. How about that? You need a woman.
That needs to change. I'm waiting for the right one. I'm waiting for the right man, or I'm waiting for the right woman. I've come across very few people that can actually say that. Like, I'm waiting for the right man or the right woman. I'm not rushing. I'm working on me. Waiting for the right one.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Patiently waiting.
Be careful.
Me too.
I never said I didn't need anyone.
Me too. No, but Steph, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking. I've come across. But you know me, I come across usual characters, like unusual characters every day in my everyday life. For some reason, that's the energy that I bring. I bring like crazy women and like weirdos to my cipher for some fucking reason. But with the excluding y'all,
because Lyric's different. He's different.
Oh, by the way, fuck you, A.D.V.I.S, because you try to play me. Anyway, like what I'm trying to say real quick is they'll tell me these stories and shit, and then nobody holds them accountable for this shit because they say, I don't need a man. Well, yes, you do. You need you need Jesus. You need something. You need like a counselor,
an elder.
You need
an elder priest, a young priest.
Guess what? If you don't need a man, then you don't need the police. You don't need the fire department. You don't need your house. You don't need your lights. You might not need your supervisor. You don't need your job. You don't need your Uber driver. You don't need the guy who's going to take your order at the nearest Panera or Chipotle, wherever you at. You don't need any of that then.
And Chipotle good in the motherfucker too, man. So you playing like you
or your top
Chipotle.
Oh, and someone said keep the government out of your business.
Yes,
they were saying they'll never get married again. They don't need a 3-way contract between.
Yep, exactly. That's the main reason why I know. One of the reasons why I was just like I had to really evaluate marriages, and that was on that tip was the government, because you already enough. But go ahead.
And it's one thing that
I think we allow that. As people of all the countries that we're in, different states, provinces that we're in, we voted for a certain government to a certain extent. So when they start implementing certain things and we don't say anything from the get-go, we're allowing it. So then it becomes normal and it becomes okay. Instead of stopping it from the beginning, like, hey, do we agree to this? Do we actually really agree to this? And if you have an entire country or province that says, no, we don't agree with that system, you need to change some things there, or else we're not complying to certain things. And I feel like that's how a change gets made when it comes to certain things. There's no nice way of moving or saying no to certain things, especially when it comes to the government. There's no clean, nice way of doing it, because when they tell us things or implement things, it's always a dictatorship. And we just got to go with the flow of everything, even with marriages. So when we want something done, we also have to kind of, I guess, come with a dictatorship. Like, no. If you don't do this, we're not doing this. If you're not going to do that and supply certain things, we're going to have to stop also supplying certain things.
Hold on. Shots out to Sister Asia in the building. She is a known staple within hip-hop. It's so good to see you in here, Sister Asia. Thank you so much.
What's going on? Listen, guys, we got to wrap it up.
Sister Asia.
Sister Asia, what's going on? Final thoughts, anybody? Kimberly, you like to set us off with a final thought? Because I know you got to go to sleep and all that.
And then bring Ramos in.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Ramos in.
Yeah, no, don't get married if you think you're gonna get into marriage for any personal gain. Don't do it. There's nothing that you're going to gain. If you think you're going to get into it for financial gain, it's not going to work out. You're just going to come out of there a mess. Don't do it. If you're going to get into, or if you're in a marriage and you're only there for the kids, and it's not a healthy environment and not a healthy space, find a way to get out of that situation as well, especially if it's a violent situation. But at the end of the day, if you communication is key. Before starting to seek for advice from other people and finding other people attractive other than your partner, there'll always be someone more attractive than your partner, but also you have to remember there's also going to be someone more attractive than you.
Yes.
So
It is.
Communicate with your partner. Speak to them, fight with them, get mad at them, but talk, verbalize everything. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna run away with that.
Nah, and you know what? That's a very great final thought, because if you don't do all that, you be walking in and you hear shit, and then you hear that click clack. Listen. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay.
But you know what?
All right, guilty conscience.
If you've tried your best to make the relationship work, and you know you fully invested yourself emotionally and spiritually into that relationship, and that person goes and does wrong all on their own, the same way our parents could have raised us right and we go and do bad all by ourselves, at least you can say, I gave it my all. If it should end, at least I know my hands are clean here. That was on you. It wasn't on me.
And guess what? Cheaters, they gonna get all them bullets that they give too. You hear me? That's it. Hey, shit.
I'll listen for like a few more minutes until you guys wrap up. But you guys must have a good day. I think it's good.
I'm bullshitting, yo, but like, yo, for real, hey, the shit.
We love you, Kim.
My parts get cut off, man. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I don't do the cheating shit. You know what I mean? So don't cheat. That's it.
Yeah.
Listen, it was great having you. All right.
Yes.
Likewise.
Very, very insightful words.
Glad I caught you guys before you wrapped up.
Yes.
That's a fact.
No, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, come back next week.
Likewise, guys. Only love.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Take care. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
None of that situationship type stuff. Unless that's what you want to end up doing, is that's how your life you want to live. Like Steph said earlier, you want to be that low hanging fruit or the bruised fruit on the ground. That's on you. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to dig out the trash, and this is no shots to my folks who experience homelessness.
What the hell is what?
What the hell is?
Yo,
I'm leaning back. I'm leaning back.
He busting the fat.
Yo,
come on.
He came in like
hold on, guys.
I was yawning.
Famous Raymond, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I disagree. I disagree with something. You don't need anybody. Like, do you really need anybody? No.
Yeah.
You want people to, no, you don't. Because do I need somebody to survive and to exist? No, I don't. So,
you know what? Unless
but you want.
Unless
I
you're
live forever, exactly. but the same thing, yo, dude. Seriously, in a real level, you don't need anybody. You don't need anybody. You want somebody because that is something that you edifies you. But you don't need anybody. But anyway, the whole thing is about like this whole what you call it.
I'm gonna get on you.
Do that me? Mm-hmm. All right, go for it. But like we were saying,
I get on you too.
I don't need anybody.
Look.
Whoa, wait, pause.
Wait, no, like, yeah. Hold on. No, and that's not where it's going. It's nothing like that at all. Y'all, reverse, rewind. No. Flag on the play. That was a flagrant foul.
I don't know where that came from. Anyway, but like, yeah, I honestly, I'm gonna double down on that. You don't need anybody. You don't need. There's a keyword: need. Nah.
Okay.
There's very little things you need.
Okay.
Anyway,
but let him finish. You gotta finish.
Oh, all right.
When is my point? When is my point? I'm gonna rebut it, and then after that, we out. But not in a bad way, just because to challenge it.
So in terms of the whole thing, the happy marriage thing, I think a lot of people had a lot of good points. I really resonated with a lot of what Kimberly was saying, like when I was off. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel there's an issue with the structure of marriage and the way we interact with it, and I think that's the main thing I want to take out of it. Like in terms of like society and ways we deal with it. Like we need to, and it's individually take it as the institution of marriage as what works for me, what fits for me, instead of looking at the whole thing of how it works overall. Let's do a vampire nonsense. Anyway,
it's more on YouTube, but I'm not going to say it. Continue.
No, say that shit. Say it.
No, we just need to continue.
Well, that's what I was saying. Anyway, I don't care. You know what? I don't really care right now about that stuff. You know what? Because I've been on fire, hitting that out of the park. So I don't give a shit. And I didn't eat anything. So imagine if I ate something. Hey.
Oh man.
Yeah, Eric. Tell him why you mad. Tell him why you mad.
The thing is, I'm not mad. I don't give a shit. That's the difference.
Sipping a Bloody Mary.
They said, look over YouTube. They said, Ramos came in flexing. Like he was like, yeah, I'm about to show y'all like that.
I was yawning, man.
Oh my goodness. But yeah. The last point, like main point. I'm sorry, it was the main point.
No, that's it. I finished.
Okay, cool. Steph, final thoughts?
I think I say it all the time. The most important thing in a relationship is communication. And we don't know, most of us don't know how to honestly communicate with each other and let people know like what is really going on. Like we're afraid to say things that may hurt someone. And we need to get to a place where we say things that may hurt people, because you're not going to get to the heart of the matter unless you do that. And I think that rings true for marriages or any kind of long-term relationship. You have to be honest with each other. You have to know how to communicate, and you have to deal with the good, the bad, and the bitter. You have to deal with all of it. And I mean, like for me personally, if marriage comes from me, like we'll see when we get to that road. I'm not fully sold on it yet. I haven't ever really been sold on it fully. That's just me. I mean, if someone comes along and it's worth taking that risk, and I see it in the, me, I look at marriage logically anyway. Like, it is a business, it is an investment. If I get to that road, then we get there. But as far as just having a meaningful, healthy relationship, we need to get back to just communicating with each other and just know, like, having trust in each other and knowing that, you know, whatever we're saying it for the betterment of our relationship.
Yeah.
And we're saying it for growth.
Okay.
And it is, you have to have that mindset of it's us. We're in this together, you know. So,
like I said, once you put that ring on the finger, the eyes become a us, you know. Thank you, Tyler Perry, for teaching us that most important lesson. A.D.V.I.S, final thoughts?
Okay. I'm gonna make sure I remember, but then I also wanna to add that question back to Eric. But to Steph's point too, that I wanted to say too, is you also gotta be mindful too that wherever state that you're in, if you cohabitate with someone, after about 3 to 5 years, it's very similar to like a marriage. That literally, if something does end up happening, the person that you know you're with actually can still get some of your assets in some way, shape, or form. But it depends on, again, state-wise. I don't know all of the jurisdictions and things of that sort. But y'all keep that all in mind, that even if you cohabitate with the person that you're with and you're just in a committed relationship and you don't have that title being married, by law, after a while, that just gets created some way, shape, or form. Now, to your point, Eric, Famous Ramos, all these names that you get, I'm not gonna say the other ones. I get your sentiment on the aspect of you don't need nobody when it comes to controlling things within your body. Like, nobody's gonna go and use things for me. But when it comes to like being able to survive, get things modern day now. We're not talking about way back when. I'm talking about today. If it wasn't for people around us, the technologies and the foods and things that we got, honestly, where the heck? I know for me personally, do I know how to grow fruit myself right now? Personally, I don't. Do I know
I think you're taking on a different level what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, in terms of people. But I'm saying that I don't need somebody in my life. Like, for survive, I don't need somebody in my life, like, as a partner. I can go along with that as I need because it's not inherent to my survival. Like, I would want somebody because that's something that edifies me. You know, love is something I search for. You know, to maybe have a better like in terms of a more better spiritual life. But in terms of like really having a physical person there and like just because I just doesn't make any sense. I don't need that. Need somebody. That's what I'm saying.
I'm glad you clarified that, because then I'm with you on that point. Then when it's that, I thought you was talking about, like, I took it.
If we didn't need people, then you know we will find out when the zombie apocalypse happens how many people we actually need. You know, like to survive. That's right. But you know what I mean. But like in terms of like,
he's gonna survive though, because zombies
ripping open necks, ripping open those necks, vampires. You know, the zombies or people. Anyway.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got
then again, vampires do mean
barbecue Aaron neck.
But my final point.
Oh my god, man!
My final thought with it. When it comes to the troubles of modern relationships, the troubles honestly begin with us getting used to dysfunction. So everything that started back at home. How we see relationships between not only our parents, but even people in our family. And we perpetuated those thoughts and those ideas and those behaviors into this modern day relationship, dating arena and all of that, to a point where, yes, we need to address all the brokenness that has happened before, because dysfunction is not going to continue to function after a while. Like you saying earlier with the Ramos, you're saying, yeah, we're going to find out who's going to really be needed at the end of the day when it comes to either a zombie apocalypse or just being in a relationship in general. You're starting to see there's a concept in, if I'm correct, Japan, for women, they call them leftover women, for women who haven't found somebody over the age of 25, 30.
Yeah,
leftover women.
Yeah, I forgot. 25 years, your lost cause pretty much.
Right. Right, it is leftover women. That's what they. But
I'm not. Again, it can be the same said for all said and done. But when it comes to modern relationships and marriages, there is a need for reform. There's a need for us to step back and really look into, okay, what's our intention and what's our point of being together? Because if not, I could do, quote unquote, I could do bad on myself, right? But how is that going to look 40, 50 years into the future, because society's not set up that way. It's not set up for singles to live. It was set up for a family unit, whether if that's the nuclear family, whether if that's extended family, whatever type of family structure it is, it's set up that way. It's not set up for everybody to have their own house, their own car, their own this, their own that, and nobody else within that frame to watch them. So this, at the end of the day, it needs to be revised, reviewed, reformed, so that it's not only one-sided, whether if it's for the man, woman, whoever is in the relationships, but it's more of that connection and being together ultimately, so that we know what we're gonna do. What is our point of being here in the first place?
Yeah,
I just don't want to live.
Exactly.
I want to create and leave something. I hope so. If you just want to destroy stuff, okay, cool. We'll just let you go over there again under the tree with the all the whole-legged fruit and all the bruised fruit on the side. You can do that. But ultimately, we're trying to push society forward. We're trying to push the human species and stuff forward, hopefully. But if not, you do you.
Yeah, like my final. Thank you very much. By the way, A.D.V.I.S. That was very insightful. You know, you taught me some shit there, man. So, what I'm gonna say, it may be offensive, but I meant for it to be offensive, or else this wouldn't be Randumb Thoughtz. So, honestly, you know, we all got to get our shit together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Final thought. I'm talking to the modern 20, 30-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? 20, 30-year-olds. The first I'm talking to the women. Get your fucking head out of the goddamn clouds. Okay? Walt Disney fucked your head up. Now it's time for you to get your head out of Walt Disney's ass. Ain't no ending. Ain't no ending that's gonna happen like that in real life. Okay? These 6-figure, 8-figure niggas that you want, they, like I said, they exist within the top 1%, and you're not there. You have to be realistic. Not saying lower your standards. We're saying be more realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad, and you know, I have to talk within the African American community, African American women. I'm sorry, because that's who I deal with. Excluding Steph, because Steph is my friend and favoritism. So that's what we're gonna do. Because I don't like the way how Steph looks at me, man, some days. But anyway, what I'm saying is,
what?
No, because Steph be giving me that crazy look. So anyway,
I think that's in your head, man.
Whatever. Anyway,
all by myself.
Fuck it. Like, all by myself. You know, but no, but I hope whoever looks at this, who's in a 20, 30-year-old bracket, learns from this. Like, these are the reasons why we do shows like this, to cross that fucking proverbial line that everybody's so afraid to cross. You know what I'm saying? I ain't afraid of none of you motherfuckers. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? But I mean that. I'm not afraid of none of you motherfuckers. So when I say it, yo, take that shit to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, real rap. Women, get your head out the fucking clouds. You know what I'm saying? Men, get your shit right. You know what I'm saying? Tighten your shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to go for a quality woman, you have to be a quality person. You know what I'm saying? Quality guy. And when I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about get your finances straight, get your mind right, get your body right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if for some reason, you know, like I said, if you're falling in one part, make sure the other part is strong, so you can find somebody that's willing to work with you to get all aspects of that together. Find somebody that's about you. You know what I'm saying? That's about building with you. You know what I'm saying? On all aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? And to the women, it's not all about you. All right? There's gonna be times where you gonna have to spend your money on certain things. Like, I was watching a video today about today's modern women. Their money is for them, while the guy's money is for the family, and how that could destroy a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And Steph, the stuff that I say, I'm not saying it for my own health. I'm saying it because this is what it is. This is what's here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the reality that I face as, you know what I'm saying, as a black man or whatever have you. And I go on, even though I do have to hold black men accountable, because there are black men who do some fuckery. You know what I'm saying? I'm not letting
you should do that more often. I'm just saying.
I'm not. No, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Let's stop that. I'm not going to.
Every night, and that's the problem. That's the problem. You need to hold your own brothers accountable.
Yeah, but
just like
I'm not
that this is gonna be a whole different discussion because I will go in on both of y'all fools on this, but stop. Just stop. Because
I'm naming
this whole setup.
Yo, you know what? I just realized something. I realized this is a marriage, man. Yo, you guys married.
It is.
They're not very happy though.
No, this is anyway sibling rivalry. This is what that is.
Yeah, exactly, sibling rivalry. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm really trying to say, all aspects of this shit, like we all, as human beings, we all need to get ourselves together. Yes, most definitely, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? This thing with being a 304 or whatever have you know what I'm saying? You are fucking up your quality with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sleep every time Dick and Harry. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas is looking at you like, damn, son, like she jumped from dick to dick. And then when you are retired 304, now you want to settle down. After getting fucked by half the block, you want to settle down. After sitting there, you got half a nigga's kids down your motherfucking belly. Now you want to settle down. No, because now it's like don't get me started, man. I'm a respect
open forum.
I'm respect Steph, and we gonna go to open forum. Cause I'm letting you niggas have it on the open forum. I don't give a fuck on the open forum. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want, cause I'm tired of stuff looking at me crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like,
you gonna get that for life from me.
I love you, Steph.
That's not gonna change.
Not half the block. Honestly, it's probably not half the block. It's probably the whole city.
Probably
the city on your back. I'm just playing, but continue. I know we clowning. We gotta go.
No, but yeah, we do gotta go, man. So let me just wrap this up real quick, and then we go. Listen, get your shit together, guys. Seriously, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? If you want a good relationship, you gotta be a good person. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, get yourself to that standard of being high value or mid value or whatever. You don't want low value. You do not want to be that bottom.
What's his name is not even high value. What's his name?
Stop. We look at again. You want to do this? We gonna go to.
I'm just saying the man's been married 3 times already. Look, he had 3 failed marriages. He is not a high value man. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Look, we got to find. No,
the city's on her chest.
The city's on her chest.
What'd you say?
You said the city's on her chest.
Oh, bro. Oh, my goodness.
All right,
so anyway, forum. We're going to leave it at that. Open forum. You ready? Open forum.
Hold on. Next week's show, all right, is episode 2-9, the taboo topic of code switching. Okay? Either Steph or Ad is hosting it. One of you two motherfuckers. You know why. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still trying to figure out about code switching. So, hey, fuck it. Whatever. But, guys, it's been one hell of a great episode. As always, love you guys to death. You already know. It's all love. And, Eric, keep biting them necks. All right, cool. So
I don't bite Karen necks. I don't bite white woman necks. They're not tasty. Anyway, especially they're that bitter. If they're that bitter, I don't want that shit.
No, I'm not bitter.
I'm talking about Karen next. I'm talking about Karen next. As he's saying before, get with the program. Read the comments, man. What's up?
The way you came in flexing, you can go back to sleeping in your casket. All right,
bro. So that's what we doing.
Word? You coming at me, Esther? Watch next week.
We're trying to wrap up, and now it's like everybody wants some of the smoke right now. No.
All right, cool. So you know what? We coming back 5:30 for the smoke. All right, yo, guys, join the 5:30 open forum. For famous Ramus, A.D.V.I.S, Stephanie Gale. This is Liz. Yo, we are signing off, y'all. Peace.
Later. Peace.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union. All commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, teaching, and or scholarship of copyrighted material is protected by the Fair Use Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. iRant Network and the founder of the Ranters Union, Logic, aka Mr. M, recommends that you take what is said and do your own research. Read a goddamn book and form your own opinion. Furthermore, listen carefully to the ranters rant and debate their opinions and form your own conclusion. Thank you for watching this member-supported program, powered by the Ranters Union and produced for the iRant Network. Good day.